Hello, parents and students of Hope Horizon. I really hope that you are having an amazing and safe and healthy Easter weekend. Before we start, I just want to say I'm by no means a YouTuber, and by no means do I do this professionally. So if I make a mistake, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I hate myself in photos. If you know me at all, definitely video is a big no-no for me. So I'm trying my best. Just please bear with me. Okay, so I have a lot of questions and queries of how to keep your child busy during this lockdown period, and now especially that the lockdown has been extended. Um, so yes, I found this on Facebook. I'm not really sure where I got it from, who shared it, or whose was it originally. So I'm sorry if I'm stealing someone's copyright. But I found it very interesting and I've adapted to our surroundings. But just to go through it, I think it's very good to have a routine, and I think it's very good to minimalize the electronic devices. I know a lot of parents struggle to get their children away from electronic devices and away from the TV and away from PlayStation and Wi-Fi and Wii and all of that and Xbox. And I know I definitely struggle with my eldest with this. So this is a very interesting just a routine that you can do every day. So yes, before 9 you get up, you eat breakfast, you make your bed, you put on your clothes, you throw your PJs in the wash, or else it never gets done. And you brush your teeth and you comb your hair. And this is a very normal before the start of school thing that we all do in the mornings. And then from 9 to 10, we do a couple of exercises. We go swimming. Because it's before 10, it's very safe to do that. Or we just go walking around the garden talking. From 10 to 11, it's called Power Hour. No electronic devices. And just have to stimulate your brain a little bit. So you do a word search, you do Sudoku, you build a puzzle, or you do some schoolwork from the flip file that I gave you. And then from 10 to from 11 to 12, it's creative thinking, building Legos, building something out of Legos, drawing, painting, playing a game, maybe baking something with mommy in the kitchen, or making something nice. So at this moment, my children are making their own stuffed animals. It's adorable. Mornay is making a little dinosaur, and then Lani is making a little owl. It's the cutest things. It's just about this big, and it's adorable. You can really Google this stuff. It's really easy to make, and there's a lot of ideas in there that gives you step-by-step instructions just to get the creative juices flowing a little bit. After that we have lunch, and after that we do our chores. So what I've done is I've given my children 3 things to do. Only 3 things. I mean, Lani is still in grade 1, so it's difficult for her to follow a whole lot of instructions. So she has 3 things that easily memorize and that she has to do every day. Mornay, on the other hand, he can do a little bit more because he's grade 7 now. He can do a little bit more, but I try and minimize it to 3 things. We've got a list of things that we need to do every day, and they do those 3 specific things. And then what I also did is before the start of the lockdown, I went out and I got everything that was under 10 Rand at Crazy Store. So I got buckets of slime that was like $7.99, and I've got Play-Doh that was 10 Rand, and all stuff like that, and a couple of sweeties. And I opened a tuck shop. And what happens is when my children do their chores, for these 3 things, they get money. And they are allowed to come and spend it at the tuck shop. It's a great initiative to get your children motivated to do what they need to do, what you ask them to do, and then get a little reward. Now, by no means I'm saying go spend a lot of money. If you just do, maybe when you go out again and get those little jelly beans or jelly tots or whatever your child's fancy is. But get those little packets where you get at the till point, a couple of those, and just reward them. It's a great way to just get them motivated, because no one likes housework. I hate housework, so if someone can please reward me with a chocolate every time I do my housework, I would be very thankful. But in any case, then it is recharge time. We do this early afternoon, and this is just quarter past 1 to about 4:30 to about 2:30. We can go to sleep. This is about recharging. You can go to sleep, you can build a puzzle, you can read. Read is very important. So if you can get your child to read for that little bit, fabulous. And then from 2:30 to 4, we have technology time. So this is the time that you put on your electronic devices, and you can watch TV and be on the Wi-Fi and play with your games and whatever tickles your fancy as a child. I know they watch other children playing video games. I don't understand that. Or they watch YouTube stuff. My children love Netflix, so they watch Netflix on their phones, or we just watch TV. But that's the only time in the day that they are allowed to have their electronic devices. And then from 4 to 6, they call it afternoon breathing time. So we do again a bit of stretch exercises, or we go swimming, or they help me in the kitchen preparing dinner, or they set the table. It's just to wind down after the day. And then from 6 to 7, it's dinner, and then after from 7 to 9, it's either watching movie night. My children love that. They have to go shower and bath every day because they forget to do this, and then 3 days afterwards you have to force them into a bath. And then it's just general being as a together as a family. And then what we do is we say 9 o'clock is lights out. But before 9, 10 minutes before 9, I give them each a book, and they have to read for 10 minutes. It's nice to get an age-appropriate book. So Lani is still very much at the 3 words per page book, easy words. So if you can get a book that's age-appropriate for your child, that would be amazing, so that they can independently read. Each of my grade 1s and 2s do have age-appropriate books in their flip files, so they can read that book, and or you can read with them. It doesn't really matter as long as they are reading. Reading is very, very important. So today's lesson is mathematics. So we're just going to do a couple of things in this lesson, and then we're going to move on to the next lesson in the next video. So definitely space in to proportion, space. Now I have forgotten my word, but any case. So we're going to start with right to left. Definitely your child should know by now right and left. If they don't, right hand you write an R, left hand you write an L, and then it's very important to say, where's your right hand, where's your left hand, where is this position in space? So is daddy standing to your left or right? Is the chair on the left side of the table or on the right side of the table? Things like that, just things that you can do every single day. And yes, should your fork be on the left side, should it be on the right side, it doesn't really matter. But yes, reinforce this every day, and as long as your child knows it, you are good. Okay, what I also just want to say is, please do not transform your house into a classroom. Your children are not made to sit and do this work for long periods of time. We take breaks in the classroom. They are here for 7 hours a day, but we take breaks, and we don't do the same thing. We don't do mathematics the whole day around. We do little bit. But please don't go and transform your whole house into a classroom. This is not what the lockdown period. I know a lot of schools are doing it, but this is not how we are going to do it. We have amended the school terms. So this, I don't want you to overwork your child. By the time they get back to school, they are exhausted. So rather let them do it in short bursts of time and let them come back fresh to learn some new stuff. So also what I need to just tell you is this is nothing is new work. It is literally only recapping of the first term. If they have the first term's work down to a T and they know it, then they will be fine and ready and be able to absorb the new work so much easier. But if you did not watch these videos, your child will also not lose out on any new work. Okay, so position in space is also very important. Let me just get, this is my space, and this is very easy. So you say this is on top, behind, to the right, to the left, under, above, below, next to, all of those things, in front, at the back. So you can do this if it's safe. You can do this with your child standing on a chair or on a table, but only if it's safe. If it makes them nervous, please don't. And you can just do the stand above or stand on top, stand next to it or stand to the right, climb below the table, in front of the table, behind the table, at the back or in front. Okay, so this is very easy, and if your child understands the concept, you don't have to drill it into them. It's relatively easy, and they've been doing this for a couple of years now. All right, capacity as well is if you give them a set of instructions. So put your glue on top of your pencil case. Put your glue under your pencil case. Put your glue next to your pencil case. It's about the same, and if your child understands it, please don't drill it into them. They know it. They've been doing it for a couple of years. Also very important, if your child likes playing outside in the ground, which I know little boys do very well, or you can just get some flour or mini meal and put it in a bucket, and then they do patterns. So patterns, let me show you on the board quickly. I hope you can see. So patterns, they can do this with their finger. It helps with the writing after a while. So patterns, they can just go like this the whole time, or they can go and a very good one that you can definitely do with your children is the lazy 8. So you're going to draw an 8 and you're just going to go over it again and again and again and again. There we go. Okay. This is something you can do. The children do like playing outside. Go for it. If they don't, and they're little girls and they're so dainty and everything, don't let them play out. Make them play outside. Get a Tupperware, not too high. It must be quite shallow, or even a tray. Fill it up, and they do love it. They do love how it feels, and so yes, that's definitely a good idea. Counting is extremely important. Most of our children can count up to 40. Grade 2 should count up to 100 now, and grade 3's 150 or 200. So as far as your child can go, count up and then count down as far as your child can go. So if they can count up to 40, it does not necessarily mean that they can count from 40 and back, but they can maybe count from 20 and back. So counting every day, counting concrete objects, so counting something that they can see is a very good way. So what I did, and what you can also do, start a collection, is you can start a collection of caps. Ideally 100 would be excellent, but it's a lot. It's a lot and it will take you a while. But in any case, any type of cap, we are definitely going to use it when we get back to school. So any type of cap, not too big because it gets very bulky to work with, and not too small or they get lost easily. And definitely write your child's name on the top so they know it's theirs. If two children come to school with the same caps, they get mixed up very easily. So then concrete objects, so counting out, you tell them count out 14, and they have to count out the counters. Very important. What your child also should know is the numbers 1 to 10. So it is literally 0, 1, 2, 3, and they must also know is how many counters goes into. So if you say 5, they must be able to tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters. And if you say write the name 5, they must be also able to do that 0 to 10. If it's somewhere in my book that they say if a child can master 0 to 10, they can master any maths that they will do in their whole school term. So that's a good idea, is to make sure that they know tens, but they're also supposed to know that how much goes into them and the name of them. We do the name a little bit later as well, from 11 to 20. Some of the grade 2s have started it, some of the grade 2s has not started it. The grade 3s definitely should know this. And when you start doing this, make sure that they know 0 to 10 first before you try anything else. They must know it. Another thing as well, what my grade 1s and 2s did, is I gave them work to copy into their homework book. And this is basically the concept of what makes 10. So if I say, and this is something you can really drill into your child. I cannot tell you how important it is to drill this into your child, because the basis of it makes the basis of all the numbers and all the sums you're ever going to do. So if I say 4, you say 6, that makes 10. It's really, it's easy. So if you tell your child 4, they must be able to tell you 6. If you tell your child 3, they must be able to tell you 7, and vice versa. If you say 7, they must be able to tell you 3. So I always say to my children, if I wake you up in the middle of the night and I say 5, and they say 5 back, then it's good. So make sure that they know these combinations to get to 10. Because it's very easy then after a while when we do hundreds and I say 20 and they say 80. See how easy it is? We just added the 0. So this is really the basis of everything we do. Okay. Then as well is shapes. Shapes, a square, a rectangle, a triangle, and a circle. This is basic. They've done it since they were 4. So definitely they should know this. But another concept that we also started to do now is a ball and a box. It's not called a sphere and a cube yet. It's called a ball and a box. And the easier one to do this is a ball can roll, a box can slide. So a ball rolls, a box slides. So you can do this in the house as well. If you've got something that is a ball and you just ask your child, does this ball slide or roll? And they can do it obviously practically as well to see what is a box form and what is a ball form. Okay, so I think we're going to stop there before we get into anything. This is just the basics of mathematics that they should have mastered by now, but you can just go through it again. Okay? Alright, I will see you in the next video. And remember, you feel free to WhatsApp me if you still not understand anything, or pause the video just to recap if you're not sure what's going on. But definitely in the next video, we'll go on with mathematics. Thanks guys. Have a good day.